Wow, another interesting panel. How to push yourself to the limit. Spending time outdoors in an era when everybody is hanging out only with the phone. So how to reconnect to yourself. But before talking about this, so I would like to hear more about you and your experience. So Thomas, would you like to start to talk a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much. In the end, we're here to talk about, health and performance teams. I believe that sport is a good entry on that. In fact, we all come from a sporting background. I pursued a tennis career, and I'm coming from a sports family. And this transition from a professional sport to business, I believe there are many correlations, and it helps you to then perform also in business and in life. And maybe to just show a quick video of what we do as a company and what my parents built as a company, and I'm now in the second generation of it.
Yeah, Mattia, please.
Every sport has a special place. It's home and heart. Welcome to the home and heart of alpine skiing. Welcome to the Hahnenkamm races.
Mit dem Schienbein gehen lassen, tolle Geschwindigkeit.
The place to dare.
Hundertstel Vollsprung.
To fail and win.
Hold that racing line to bring the speed into the finish area. 85 miles per hour through the gun, off the Celsius, set the pace.
The place to be. To see. And to be seen. The place to meet. To tweet. To like no other. The place for brands to go beyond sponsoring. The place to shine in the winter sun and night.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Now definitely
really
it's your
cool.
turn.
I don't have a video. My background is different. So I come from academia. I'm a university professor. I do sport ethics, sports bioethics. So that's a new field in our country, in our region. So I'm a pioneer there. There is not that kind of money there. We just don't work with money. But I believe we also are high professionals in sports and contributing sports in a different way. So we are theoretical and we think about sports. We think about why people are engaging sports, what is sport all about, and what are the values of sport. So right now I'm working on a paper on enhanced games, which I think is the answer to our question of our panel, how far is too far, and where sports will go in future. I believe enhanced games are actually pushing the limits and are the answer to that, and maybe they will reshape and change the sport, I don't know, forever in future.
Yeah, we will dig in definitely in these topics, but I want to hear Jurica first, and after that, guys, let's discuss about everything.
Thank you so much, and I would like to thank to Damian and Pete and Bora and Tomo for inviting me, and this is amazing conference. I really enjoy it. I was professional athlete before, Red Bull athlete, and I was very strong and crazy at that time, doing backflips, front flips, and then I started doing business, and after a few years, I realized that I became very soft. You know, I didn't want to jump in water again. I didn't want to go expose myself to cold weather. And I asked myself, why this is happening to me? And then after some thinking and talk with people, I realized that we as a society and as a people became very soft nowadays because of our daily routines and jobs that we do. And mobile phones and emails. We don't go in nature anymore. We don't stress ourselves anymore. We became sick. Everybody has some problems, some issues. And that's why we started also what I call extreme wellness. So we organize outdoor events, mostly hiking events, that's Highlander about, where we really stress people. And people go in nature, they pay to struggle. And it's very crazy concept. And when you see our participants, people who come to the mountain and they walk for 5 days, they are happy to be in pain. They are happy to struggle, to sweat, because this is something where we are coming from. Yeah. But we forgot those feelings today. We forgot this, and when we again feel this, we feel amazing. And more people today started to go outdoor, started to do crazy things like cold bath, for example, like climbing super high, like running a lot, because we feel that the change is necessary. Otherwise, we will just go crazy because of all these emails, phone calls, meetings, obligations that we have during the day. And that's why we started Highlander to push people to the mountains, to motivate them to jump out of the comfort zone, which is very important, and just to become better people. Yeah. For example, I've spoken with one guy from New York, from Wall Street. He said, I go every day in the most expensive restaurant. I pay $500 steak. And after 7 days, they missed the perfect temperature to bake this steak. And my day is destroyed. And today we start to be crazy about stupid things like that. And when you do a race over the weekend or some crazy shit, believe me, every steak is good. So that's the concept of it.
Yeah, and how is it, the younger generation, how are they responding? Because I personally think that this thing over here is the biggest enemy of the 21st century. It's very good for certain things, but I have the impression that especially younger people are hanging out with the phone, not with people. They forgot how to talk. They cannot spend time outdoors. And do you have the possibility to see younger people in those activities and the value? Mattia was mentioning the value of sport. So what do you think, guys? What are the values of sport?
Look, what I saw, for example, we do some stuff in US. What I saw there, and when I speak with people, young generations, they don't do sex anymore. Really, because of the phones. For them, it's more engaging to be on the phone and have notifications and likes and all this. They don't drink anymore. They don't party anymore. That's really, I think it's a problem. But what is good, what we see in our statistics and stuff, more and more young people go in nature. They go outdoors. And this is really something promising for us as a humankind, because I think we reached the point where otherwise we will change something or it will explode. And I hope younger generations will push this more, like fight for climate change, etc. So yeah, I hope this will be better. But we see this in our events. We see that more and more young people register for events. They don't want to drink. They want to do cold showers, breathe exercise. And this is what we want to push through Highlander.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mattia, you were mentioning before the values of sport. And I have a question for you now, and after that I will talk with Thomas. But the psychological side, sports is very good for the mental health, first of all. What do you think about this?
I mean, it could be. It depends on how good you are you in sports. I tend to ask my students that, and usually I get answers that they have a bad experience in sport, but which was very surprising for me because I was good in sport.
Yeah.
I was pushing sports, and I thought this is the value of sport, But they say, if you weren't good in sports, then you have a bad experience in sports because everybody is, just saying bad stuff to you, and are perceived not in a good way in the company of others, you know, so they don't like sports in that way. But I think that values of sports are extremely important to answer ourselves why we are engaging in sport and why sport is such a phenomenon in this world. So I will tell you just a short story about my wife and myself, you know, because she doesn't like high professional sports and high professional competitions, and I'm crazy about them, you know, and I get so passionate. And when I watch the games, especially from Croatian national teams, I'm just crazy, you know. And at one point, I was watching the game, and I was doing crazy stuff, you know. I was jumping around because my team won. I was getting on my knees with fists like this, you know. I was just happy, you know. And then finally, she was there. I didn't notice her because I was crazy in the game. And she just approached me after and said, you know, you were never that happy with me. And I was like, wow, I don't know what you're talking about, you know, that's different stuff. But then afterwards, I was thinking about it, and she was right, you know. I was never that happy, you know. So what is about sport that is doing such stuff, you know? So I was trying to build my answer to that. I call it intrinsic values of sport. I present it in my first book, you know, and I think there are a variety of values that we have in sports, but the most important thing is you need to be engaged in sport to feel them, to be able to achieve them. You need to practice sport, then you will get to the values of sport. My sport was basketball. So
Good choice.
making a perfect shot, making a good dribble, you know, the way that you feel in that, I think these are the values of sport. But the most important value, I think, is striving for excellence. And I think we all agree on that, you know, pushing limits, going further. Every time you want to do more, you want to be better.
Yeah.
I can continue on that because I was also thriving a professional tennis career in my youth until I was 18, 19. And, you know, for me it was a very bad experience because I thought I failed not becoming a professional player. But looking back to it, I would do exactly the same in my youth because all the values that you just talked about what you learn in sports is something that helps you now in life. Yeah. And that's why I think, and that's why I appreciate it so much to communicate in sports, because when people understand how athletes think and the way they go about their day, it's exactly the same in life. When you have kids, you have you have a lot of work. You need to balance everything out. You fail, you have success, and you need to be stable in your mindset to go on and stay healthy. And that's why we as a company also believe in Highlander and also execute the Highlander in Austria to show the people again, look, you need to have the right mindset and to be balanced and in order to succeed in life, whatever it is, what you do. So I can really relate to that.
Yeah, now there's the tricky part. How to find balance between professional sport and non-professional sport. Because, you know, we have athletes that are paid and basketball is their job. But sometimes when you're you're going hiking and you like that so much and the human being is extremely competitive, you know, you're like having too much thoughts about that. You're not enjoying the process anymore because it's not anymore a hobby, but it's something you need to do good. So how to find balance between those two things? What do you think, guys?
I like to compare it with business as well.
Okay.
So what I see in our company, we grow as a company and we had first event in Croatia. Then we had 10 events in Europe. Then we have now 20 events around the globe. And I always say to my team, look guys, we cannot have the same result with the same principles in Croatia and in the global game. It's same like with professional athletes. You cannot be number one in Croatia and with the same principles become number one globally. You need to have better diet, you need to more practice, you need to do mental coaching, etc. Same is here with the sport. I think we organize Highlander as it's not a race. You need to finish it because we are racing every day all the day. So I think it's the most important here part is that you put sport or activity in your calendar and it's fixed. If you just put it as optional thing, you will always skip it. But as Thomas said, it's so crucial to our health today, especially today, that sport like 1 hour per day or half an hour per day must be in the schedule if you want to be healthy and focused, etc. But when it comes to difference, as you said, between professional and amateur sport, professional sport became also super crazy today. And as you see, the athletes in Kitzbühel, that's way above any limit. But also technology improved, coaching improved, nutrition improved. So athletes are always pushing the limits, but I think it's very important that like we normal people start to do more sports on daily basis, because it's times are super challenging, and only way to survive this is to have like daily routine and at least half an hour for yourself.
Mattia?
Yeah, I agree with you, and I distinct professional, high professional sports and sports in general. You know, sports in general can be about health, can be about, I don't know, shaping your body, going to the nature, do nature sports and stuff like that. But if we talk about high professional sports, I think it's completely unhealthy. You know, even sports medicine, they doesn't care about health of athletes. They care about preparing athletes for the competition. So that's two different things, you know. And we know athletes that push the limits of their health to the extreme, like, I don't know, Slaven Bilic. I remember how he was playing for the Croatian national team in 1998 semi-final game. Despite the fact that he was injured, he wanted to push the limits further to be a part of that game. And after that, he lost his hip, made an artificial hip to be able to walk. You know, so athletes are ready to push the limits as far as they can to be part of this competition. Right now, I think athletes, through technology, through science, through nutrition and everything, came to the end of the road, I would say, you know, with their bodies. You know, they just cannot go further. So what is the next level for them, you know? So this is why I'm very interested in these enhanced games, where they are targeting athletes with how they can improve them with doping, you know? And then they're making a medical screening of them and saying, you know, we can do this, this, and this, and we will do that by this kind of doping. And then you can go further. But you will be medically supervised, and you will be even more healthy than before. So this concept is something totally different than today's high professional sports. They care about safety, they care about their health, and you know, we'll all see what will happen actually. We have one athlete right now that was in the doping program for 2 months, and he broke world record in 50 meters freestyle swimming, and he was a part of 4 Olympic Games, and his best achievement was 5th in the Olympic Games. So now, after 2 months of enhancing, he broke the world record. Mm-hmm. Maybe this will be a new step for sports. Well, let's see. Next year in Las Vegas, 2025. 2026.
Yeah, before asking Thomas, just give me 1 sec, because you mentioned the doping. And every time we are hearing this word, everybody is threatened. So can you develop more this topic for a sec?
I mean, what is doping? Yeah. So actually, WADA, World Anti-Doping Agency, has their own definition of doping. They say doping is what we put on the prohibited list.
Yeah.
Well, enhanced games are questioning this list, because there are many stuff on this list that are not unhealthy, you know, and they can help athletes, especially in recovery, and train more. This is what high professional athletes are for. They want to train more to have better results, and the recovery time is the problem.
Exactly.
If you can give them something, well, they can improve.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, I think because you talked about outdoor, right, and general health. I believe what Yuri is doing with the Highlander, it's the first concept of a series which doesn't focus on the performance part of a challenge, and that's what I thought is super interesting in this new era, because we know all about, you know, there are plenty of marathons, triathlons, for example, Ironman, those are super hard events and super popular. A lot of people do it. But I believe that in the future, it's also super important that you don't just focus on the sport and the challenging each other, but just spending time with yourself and as you said, disconnect with the phone and connect with nature again. To also, because I feel that all our life, it becomes more performance oriented. And that has scaled up the past years extremely. So I believe that a concept like that, where it's not about who is the best and who is the fastest and who is the winner, but just doing a challenge for yourself and finding your limit from yourself is something that I believe becomes more and more relevant for the future.
Yeah, you said challenge me and see what I can do. It's always like this because the human brain is working like this. So thank you again, guys. It was a pleasure. So please, an applause for the panelists. That's it.
Sorry,
thank you.
I have Christina. Sorry to interrupt you. I think this panel is so fantastic. We can open up to Q&A for 5 minutes, if that's okay.
Sure.
I want to use the opportunity to congratulate all the guys for a great panel and to congratulate all of you for what you're doing in your respective industries. I want to make the most of the time while we have Yuri on stage. And the reason why is because Yuri and I are friends, and throughout many conversations that we had, he shared a process that actually happens during Highlander from day 0 to day 5. And I think, if that's something that Yuri, you can share on stage in your insightful way, because I feel like that transformation with complete strangers finding themselves on a mountain is something that is very interesting.
Thanks, Damian. Yes, it's interesting. We have different formats, but the main one is 5 days, 100 kilometers. And when you start first day, you say, first thing, this is the stupidest idea in your life. And you struggle, you feel pain. And as day goes, you start, speaking with your partners, what's up, what's going on in the business, etc. Second day, you walk in the pain again, you are dirty, and you start speaking like more deep topics. How's your life so far? Are you happy with your marriage? How's kids doing? Do you think about kids and stuff like that? Third day, you are becoming more wiser, and you start thinking like how we can change the world, like what we can do together to make the world a better place, what I can do maybe with my marriage. This is the third day. Fourth day, you just want to be solo. You don't want to hear anyone. You want to have your day. You want to walk alone. You want to enjoy your time. And you are thinking, why am I here on this planet? It's crazy. Just thoughts are coming. You never have these thoughts in the office. Fifth day, the last day, you are coming to the finish line. And I just want to do it again. Unbelievable. You started with a crazy pain, with a struggle. And it's really hard. It's really hard. And the last day, all day, you have thoughts, I want to do this crazy shit again. And this is something what I discovered in Highlander. We just made Highlander as a pilot project. We said, let's make something crazy hard on the mountain. Let's charge $250. Let's see if somebody will sign up. We saw 50 people sign up. They really struggled. They cried in the end of the Highlander. It was 5 days of rain. And they said, we want to do it again. We said, who wants to do it again? And that's the beauty.
So if I may, this is interesting because you were asking all the right questions, all the philosophical questions. So we do philosophy for 5 years to answer those questions and to bring them up. Maybe I should send my, students to you on a quick course on philosophy in 4 days. So, perfect.
So if we have any questions, does anybody want to use this opportunity for some extra questions? Or you guys obviously have been so good that everybody is clear about everything and they have no questions. Great job.
No questions. Great job. Come on. Thank you.